Ah, I had to go out and back in again, guys. I'm seeing all your messages now. That was so crazy. I pushed the go and I was getting the spinny wheel of death. So, hello everybody. I'm so glad I had to like reboot the page and all these other things. I'm so glad the chat thing option was going. So, um evening Europe and good morning down under to New York Knitter was saying hi to everybody. I love that. I love that. So it's really good to have everybody with you. Oh, Tressacello just found 29 stitches in her 18 stitch what? Oh no. Oh no. Everyone who's chiming in saying where you are, awesome. Keep it coming. Um It is. Oh, yeah, Deb, I know. It's my sister's having like when the rain died down, all the storm like Canadian wildfire smoke. I hear you on that. So, words. I'm trying to read and people are talking to each other over in the comments and talk to y'all. We got Tucson, we have Scotland, um we have people from all over the place. Oh, and Deb saying it's like smoking a pack a day. So I was sitting here and I was all ready and I pushed the go button and it went woo, woo, woo. So it's really good to see everybody. It is raining outside, so yes, it could be the internet is having issues. It could be the internet is gonna like we hope that it's gonna just now that we're live, we stay live. That would be wonderful. We got Colorado in there. That's awesome. I'm here in the mountains of North Carolina. Some of you know that, some of you may not, but it is really good to see everybody. I can show off things. I can talk about things I'm working on. I can just read the comments and respond to them. If you have questions, if you have things you'd like me to talk about, let me know. I both in knitting world want to work on this. This is my Harvester by Jennifer Steingass. It is our make along for August and September. I also brought home some of our Touré, which is our Pima cotton and merino wool. I want to make a hat because, it's not like there's anything else going on. But so I might wind these. I've got my really old umbrella Swift here. It is 25 years old at the very least, and I still use it at home. We use an Amish Swift at the shop, but at home I leave this just clamped to a TV tray table. So let's see what's going on. Jenna says there's no smoke in Cincinnati. I don't think it's made it that far down. We got Colorado. We've got 99 degrees in El Paso. Wow. South Carolina and raining. Yep, we got the rain here too, Dakota. Hi, Dakota. It got cold. Not freezing cold, but it's chilly and my thermostat stopped working, which when it was mid-range temperature was just fine. And I see that Deb will comment on that in a second. And I was like, well, it's good because it's not hot out. So I don't need the thermostat to control the temperature in here. And I've had to shut most of the windows. I have this one open in case it's soothing sounds. I don't know if they come through on YouTube. But I've had to shut a lot of the other windows down because it's almost feeling chilly in the house with all the rain. So 106 in Tucson. Oh, man. Good knitting weather if you have lots of AC going. Deb said the Amish Swift she got from our shop had her giving away her umbrella Swift. So this stays here. And because it has sentimental value, it's the first thing that my sister got me when I started knitting, when I didn't even know about Swifts and how awesome they are. And we have an Amish Swift at the shop that was bought, someone made on Etsy. And I take the one we sell in the shop from Chowgu. Thank you. The one we sell at the shop from Chowgu, I take with me when I travel. I have one of those that goes in my suitcase because it fits in my suitcase. Jenna said she likes my fairy hair. Yes, we did have the fairy hair lady come in and she did. purple. I had sparkly purple. I had some purple eyeshadow on that day. And she's like, I'm inspired. And I said, go with your bad self. I like all the colors. So there was a deep purple that I really wanted to get. And she said, it won't show up in your hair. She already knew. I said, I trust you. And she said, it really shows up. What is it? It shows up on green hair, like people who've dyed their hair like bright green. And I was like, well, not anymore. So I am on the last row in this. I've been working on some other stuff, which I'll show off in a minute, but I'm on the last row of the first set of leaves in my harvester, and it's looking really, really great. I'm really excited about it. We had a great kickoff class, both in shop with a couple of people and our Coach and Connect online with a couple of people. Excuse me. I've got some seltzer here, so I don't, yeah. And we've got more sessions of the Coach and Connect if you want to jump into that, where we'll be doing a lot more like one-on-one dealing with stuff. But you also have the option here to potentially ask questions. I like to have, like, I had someone comment, like, I talk about money a lot. It's because I'm self-employed and I am trying to pay the bills. And I want to have free offerings for y'all, but I also need to pay the bills. So there's different options for different levels of engagement with me. And the Jennifer Steingass in her patterns uses this invisible increase left. That is like 2 steps. It's slipping a stitch and it's lifting and making a stitch. And that combo, it really is almost invisible and it's really awesome. So I wasn't able to do that today. If I have energy tonight or sometime soon, I might make a short video on that, a free video. But know that there are levels for extra connection if you want it, be it through Patreon, be it through the Coach and Connect, stuff like that. So we've got El Dunn from Maryland, 84 degrees. Nice. Oh, yeah, that's nicer than like the 90s and stuff, right? So it's a little bit of a break, which it's so crazy when 84 is a nice break. You know, it's like, what? But it's true. Coach and Connect. So I can put my email in the chat. Absolutely. And Coach and Connect is something that you can purchase in the online shop. So contacting me for, sorry, I'm getting distracted by spam calls on my phone. My email, if you want to contact me with questions and things, is it's Rebecca and it's a whole business, Sun Dragon Art and Fiber.com. It's long. I just put it in the chat. And the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to see if this is going to let me do it. I'm going to look for the right link. Oh, I really need to do this over on my other app. So I think I'm still with y'all, but I can't see what's going on. So give me a second. I have to Zoom. Zoom is my word for like just doing anything virtual right now. I have to do the live Coach and Connect. This is why I shouldn't do 2 things at once. I have to do this live event on Chrome when Safari is my default app, and it's whole lot of tech, right? But tech, lingo, jingo, everything like that. Okay, getting back to here. Yes, I am still there. So I saw I have a little light that lets me know it's still filming. So I'm like, I can't see you, but you can still see me. I just put in the chat the link for the Coach and Connect for this make along. There's also details. I'm also going to put in the general. So I've tried, because I have so many people who are like, I mean, not so many, but I have a few people, and there might be more who are interested, who say, could you help me with this pattern? Could you make videos on that pattern? I'd be willing to pay, but I need help on something really specific. And so if you're not doing this make along, I'm doing a copy and paste right now for this too. You can do the general coach and connect. It's once a month on the last Sunday of the month. It's $25 for 2 hours. And it's like my drop-in help where that is $30 in person on Fridays. And it's like you can share me with other people and just ask all the questions you want. So that's been up and running for a couple of months. But things that I can address here, if you have questions, you can put them here. And this is more of a free format. You can always like make a donation or something if you feel like it, but I get it. Not everyone can do that. Myself included, if I was watching another resource, I'd be like, ha. So I understand that completely. This is a limited format though, in that it's hard to be as in depth. But if you have questions about things, I'm happy to try to address them here. In case, like right now, I can show you how I do color work, but you're going to see the backside. So I am doing an experiment with this. I was telling both my in-person class and my virtual class that I'm trying minimally to lock floats, if not lock floats at all. I've got back here. So I've got strands on the previous row that were 10 stitches. Usually I lock down around every 5 or 6 stitches. And I know people who never lock their floats. And so I'm like, ooh, let me try that. I've tried this once before, but see, look at all, like when it's bunched up on my needle, you'd look at that and be like, what's wrong with your knitting? But when it's spread out, when I'm going to be wearing it, they're the right length. My tip when you're doing color work and everything, and everyone's going to have different tips on this. My tip is to try not to think about gauge. I didn't test my gauge in color work on this sweater. I only tested my gauge with my main color. So I knew that the rest of the sweater would work. Because I feel like you can kind of, if it really comes out way too big, I've never had that happen, the color work. I'd rather have floats that I can tug and manipulate afterwards than have things be way too tight and have the puckers not come out with blocking. Sometimes they do. It's really, really great when your color work is a little bit puckery, and of course I'm on a row where I have to count. Your color work is a little bit puckery and you block it and it flattens out. That happened with my first color work sweater. It was wonderful. I finished a full-blown, like intricate, every row was color work, short sleeve top a long time ago. I probably have it upstairs somewhere. And it was in a funky fiber. I was still figuring out different fibers, do different things. And I finished it and went, this looks kind of like not horrible, but not good. And I blocked it and it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And so blocking can help some color work puckers. This is part of what I do to make sure. I just went 6 stitches. This is part of what I do to make sure that my float is long enough. I stretch things out and I stick a finger just kind of right back here so that when I'm pulling to knit this, I'm not yanking the last stitch that I made and pulling it into the sweater. And then I take my finger out. I do it without even thinking about it. So on this row, and I'm an English knitter. This is my normal hand to hold tension in. And this is the one that gets to like jump in the game. So I got to go 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stretch, tuck, do my 1. And if this starts to feel tight, I got to let more yarn out there. I had just untangled this and it's still a little tangled. But again, anyone who's joining us, if you want to share things about where you're from, what you're working on, I'm happy to read and comment. But here I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stretch these stitches out, tuck my finger in. I'm keeping it really close to the back of the work, so it's not like I'm pulling my float way far away. But that's how I'm going to go around this row. So I'll do a little more of this, and then I want to share with y'all some other stuff I've been working on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got to get some more slack there. Stretch and tuck. Do my 1. Then even if this pulls, this is still holding it if my tension gets off. Although once I'm past that spot, I'm going to keep going on this. Deb's wondering what everyone's working on too. And Susan's joining us from the U.S. Virgin Islands. Hi, Susan. I talked to you on the phone last week. That's great. Let's see. Deb is working on Sari Nordland's flower basket bag. I remember her sharing it with us on our free virtual sit and stitch every Tuesday. It's not for help. It's just for sharing and chatting. Usually we chat about things that aren't even yarn. So we've got someone's working on a feather and fan cardigan with no pattern. That's impressive to kind of just wing it, right? We got a papillon shawl happening. I love the papillon. Dakota was wondering where the name of the shop came from. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to see what other people, the Simplicity by Tony Lyons. I have to look that one up. The Aster Tea. Edith, I frogged my Aster Tea, but I'm going to make something else, and maybe someday I'll go back to my Aster Tea. It's a pretty pattern. So the name of the shop, Sun Dragon. Some people have heard this. Some people haven't, so I'll refresh it. I don't have my props here because the Sun Dragon that this is all based on is at the shop. So Kim's working on Vanilla is the New Black Socks. Now that's a fun name for a pattern. So vanilla socks, but maybe not vanilla socks. I don't know, but I'll have to look that one up. So my nephew, who is about to go to college, when he was 9, it was right before, it's the year I kind of decided to open a shop. He made everyone those classic origami dragons for Christmas and made them all different colors. And he made, and he named them all based on their color, or like he explained why he was giving each of us the color we got of dragon. So it was a simple and very profound present. And he made me a yellow dragon. My dad got a brown one, and it was about learning, and because he does crosswords with my dad, so it was about words and things like that. My mom got a blue one having to do with, I think, her gardening or outdoorsy stuff. It was like he recognized us. He saw us for who we were, which was really, he pegged us, at 9. And mine was yellow. And he said I would be a sun dragon in his origami world because I'm active and creative. And I'm not as active now, but I'm active in other ways, perhaps. But I was out on a run trying to find a name for the shop. And I was thinking about, plays on words that had to do with yarn, and nothing felt right. And then I came back to Sun Dragon, and something about that just felt right. And so the Sun Dragon became the name of the shop. And when I was running a Tough Mudder, which is like obstacle course, messy running, like running and then doing an obstacle course and then running and doing an obstacle course. I was doing my second Tough Mudder a few months later, and I broke my leg on the last event. And I can't count while I'm talking. And I was stuck on the couch for a couple of weeks, and I drew Sunny. I drew the logo, that's the icon for this shop, for this channel. And he was yellow because the original origami dragon was yellow. So that's when things started to take off. So we have really kept a theme of dragon stuff in the shop, and then Vikings, because we jokingly call our customers Vikings because they come and pillage the shop. So let me see what I missed while I was telling the story, which I love telling. I mean, I love telling stories and sharing things. So ranunculus. So Dakota's doing ranunculus body ribbing. Awesome. Jenna is doing the luminous summer. I almost wore my older luminous summer in the Natsumeki. Just sleeve separation. That's fantastic. Um, okay, so we got someone got the link, I think, for the Vanilla's the New Black. That's awesome. Oh, Sandra's coming in from Belgium. That's fantastic. And she's the Ivy Top from Petite Knit. She's got some great patterns, definitely. So I'm making a luminous summer in Natsumeki as well, and Jenna knows that. I think the luminous summer is cursed for me because they might be phasing out Natsumeki in the near future. So, which it's not happening yet, and we're getting more in of the Natsumeki. But like the first luminous summer I made, it's this great. Let me find it. The luminous summer is a really fun, just top down, easy by comparison to some. It's got a nice A-frame to the bottom of it, just a few increases, not a lot of craziness going on in it. I really like it, but the first time I made it, I made it with a yarn from Barocco that was then discontinued. It's by Mini Me Knit Design, and she's got some really nice patterns. So the yarn was discontinued. It was Barocco Vivo, and I really loved it. And I don't wear it anymore, though, at the shop because we can't sell people the yarn to make it anymore. So I decided not too long ago to make another one so I could wear it in the shop, and I made it out of Noro Natsumeki. And it is not done yet. I'm a little further than Jenna. It's at the shop still. I think I brought home some of my things, but not all of my things. When I do the dual platform virtual sit and stitch, I bring everything home. The Natsumeki Luminous Summer, I am using my little pendle that spins from Likey, and that's on display at the shop. So that's why I forgot to bring it home. But I got extra of the colorway I'm using because they might be phasing it out. So, and they already done away with a bunch of colors. There's new colors I didn't bother to get in last year. And then now I hear that the whole thing might be going away before the next year. Natsumeki is a Noro yarn. It is a cotton, silk, and polyamide blend. It is 60% cotton. Compaito came in at the same time, and Compaito is also cotton and silk and polyamide, but it's an even split. So it's only 30% cotton and 30% silk, and it's lovely and soft, but a little warm because silk makes things warmer. But I will say, for if you find the wools of Noro scratchy, the cotton blends are really nice. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I might have to move on from this unless people are really fascinated to watch me knit it, because counting and talking and reading don't always happen well at the same time. But that's okay because I've been having fun with my embroidery and my sewing machine this weekend and a little bit last week. I had to I want to make some bags with the embroidery I've been making, and I've made one, and I'm really excited about it. I've made 2 bags. Only one has embroidery in it. I am steep learning curve. I have busted at least half a dozen needles, mostly from forgetting which setting my stitch was on and which foot I had in the machine. I had to order a new zipper foot. I mean, who like who I couldn't find my zipper foot. It should have come with the machine, but the machine is so old and I hadn't used it in like 8, maybe 10 years. So I was like, zipper foot was zipper foot. 2, 4, 5. Okay. Let me finish this repeat. Edith's asking if I got to the final color in my contrast yarn. I'm still on the yellow. I honestly haven't made it. Like there's going to be a whole nother, trying to turn this around right. There's going to be a whole nother set of leaves. So I am like here right now. And so there's more. This is where my brain hurts because I'm seeing the flipped image. So I'm not seeing a mirror image and I'm going to move in the wrong direction. But I should be getting to, I should get, I think, at least into this color. Like I'm in the really yummy yellow right now. And there's a whole nother set of leaves to go. So I should be getting to more fun colors. The very outside color, I'm not so sure. I think even the biggest size, it doesn't even take a full skein of yarn. So probably not. All right, I'm going to put that down for a second. So, yeah, Noro tends to be a little pricier. I'm seeing that from Dakota. The Natsumeki, the Sayun was a little more of a good price point for us. We had it at like $39 for 150 grams. A lot of our Noro for 200 grams is about $50. And in some ways, if you think about the cost per 100 grams, it's not as crazy as other yarns, specialty yarns, but it's a chunk of change. And the Natsumeki, for my top, I'm using only 2 balls, but that's still $100 sweater. So, and that's the tough thing with some of the nicer or more designer yarns is they are a little more expensive and everyone's got a budget and everyone's budget is different. And that's why we try at the shop to have a lot of different prices and styles of yarn. So there's options for that. And I am incredibly spoiled in that I own the shop. So I get to rate it for whatever I want. And I get to make the sweaters and the fancy things to encourage other people to do the same. But there's going to be give and take with that. I totally understand. Hang on one sec. About to get my embroidery. But like this one, I made a sweater out of the Turay, and the Turay is a worsted weight. It's a Pima cotton and merino wool. But because of the cotton, because of the blend, there's only 137 yards for 100 grams. And I'm one of those nerdy people that in my head can remember like a wool that looks like this, just wool, not cotton, will have 200 to 220 yards for 100 grams of worsted weight. And so only 137. I needed like 10 or 11 skeins of yarn. I might have made it through with 9, but for my size, it was a lot. And this is $22.50 a skein. So it's about the same price as Noro for 100 grams, little less, but you need so many more 100-gram balls. But okay, so you can see, again, trying to do the reverse image. You can see over my head here, that's the first quilt I ever made behind me on the wall. And I haven't quilted in years, but some of it came back to me. So, and I did a lot of research on how to put zippers in and how to have a lining that's separate from the outside and what I might want to do with that and all these different things. And so, and yeah, Testicello is saying it makes a difference if you need 600 yards versus 1,800 for a project. Absolutely. And it makes a difference how many skeins that's going to be depending on the weight for a project. I had someone asked, and I haven't been able to reply to it directly. Someone asked recently, should this many balls of this weight yarn for the small size ranunculus be enough? And that's a tough question to answer because if we're talking about like 100 grams or 4 ounces or something of a yarn in a certain weight, this is worsted weight. but it's 100 grams. But because of the fiber content and the way it's made, it's heavy. So you're not going to get as many yards. This is 137 yards. And so someone just saying, I have this weight, like this many skeins of this weight of yarn, without knowing the yardage, I first of all can't even tell you if that's going to be enough. And second of all, it was a question about the ranunculus, and everyone does their own modifications of the ranunculus. They might make it longer. Yeah, Deb just said the same. If you're making cropped or long or short sleeves or long sleeves, Deb's absolutely got it right. Absolutely. That it's a hard question to answer. And I get the person who asked it was like, I don't want to run out of yarn. But I think they were saying something about 6 or 8 skeins of a sport weight, 4 ounces, and 100 grams is 3.5 ounces. Math. Sounds like a lot of yarn. Sounds like they should be fine, because I've done a decent size, maybe cropped, but decent sized ranunculus with short sleeves. Not the smallest size. Fingering weight, maybe 1 or 2 skeins. So, but you got to use the big needle though. So everything goes a little crazy. So this is the first little bag I made. I was going for a notions bag, and then got so carried away with trying out a 9 square panel for both the front and the back that it became more of a small project bag. This one does not have any embroidery in it. Thank you. The 9 square was going to be maybe just big enough for the zipper. I wasn't sure. I'm still learning a lot. And so I used, okay, this is all leftover fabric, or fabric I've bought and never used. This fabric is in the quilt behind me. And that quilt I made probably 15 years ago or so. Oh, thank you. Some of the stuff came back to me. Some of that, yeah. Again, I looked up stuff for the zipper. So the dark sections on that quilt behind me are actually this fabric. And then this fabric is left over from, apparently I've made bags before, but I really don't remember. I did little, like this big, for the bridesmaids for my friend's wedding. I made bags with this on it and little butterflies, kind of stitched onto them or something, not embroidered, but like I did it with a fabric, like, I'm sure y'all can think of the right word. I can't right now, but I stitched it on top. So, and the word is there. It's just not coming to me. But so I needed to make a little border on it. So I did these panels. This is another, I've got so many fun scraps and applique. That is exactly it, Trescello. That's exactly it. Yeah, New York Knitter got it to applique. I just couldn't remember. So I added a little bit of a border to both of them. And yeah. Eldon is saying she's a quilter too, but taking a break and trying to be a better knitter. It's nice to have different creative skills. This has been kind of a fun, like coming home and trying something different. And so that's one of the reasons some of my knitting hasn't made as much progress, but I'm doing other fun stuff with it. So I found a video. I found not only videos on, and this is an old zipper, so it's kind of working. The other one has a new zipper on it. I found videos on like how to box your corners, and apparently I boxed corners on this thing that I made for the bridesmaids. It's really kind of ratchet, but how to do the zipper. And I was kind of paying attention and top stitching, and like, thank goodness for the internet. A lot of this I did with like more blog posts than videos, but I know there's lots of videos out there too. This one on one side, I was like, okay, here's how I'm going to do it. Like someone had a blog post that was like, okay, here's how you do it. If you want the lining separate from the bag, it's like you put the lining right side up, you put the zipper right side up, you put the outside layer right side down and make a sandwich, and whoop, and then you do the other side by the same token, by this in the same order. And then you can stitch, make sure the zipper's open and you can stitch around and then turn it inside out and all this fun stuff. And the first side, it was like, I was like, da, 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 this is great. And the second side, it was like, I'm sure Pinterest is a great place to look for stuff. That's an excellent suggestion, Jenna. The other side, it said, is when I noticed that it was like 3/8 inch seam allowance. And I was like, oh, it'll be fine though, because it was about make sure you get all the layers. And the first side, this is the side I did the 3/8 inch seam allowance, and it's all nice and pretty. And this side, like, if it's almost verging towards an invisible zipper, and it kind of wobbles and stuff. But so I learned on this one. But I have a lot of this fabric, which is to me not as pretty as this fabric. So I lined it with this, and I was just so excited to have, like, it looks well put together, which is awesome. Which, again, it's not perfect, but it was like, I'm so excited I can make my own project bags now. I might try to sell some of these, but if I do, the ones with the embroidery will probably have a hefty price tag on them because they're both really special to me. And there was a lot of work that went in. So this morning, I took the one that's on the cover of It's Good to Line Bags with Lighter Fabrics, Makes it Easier to See Things. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Right now, I'm just lining with things that either go or I have a lot of. I'm totally using up my leftovers. I will keep the idea of lighter fabrics in mind if I have to purchase new fabric for linings. The next one I'm going to show you has a really dark lining, and it's just because it's what went. I felt like this was going to clash a little with my next one. But Liz uses everything for dresses. It's all good. So the embroidery, I finished 4 or 5. The embroidery that was on the cover photo from a couple of issues, a couple of episodes back, is the one that I was like, I want to make a bag with this to start. I soaked them all to get the outlines off of them. And the very first one I made had different colors of ink on it. And that kind of bled. So that one hasn't been made into a bag yet because I'm going to try again soaking it with some lukewarm water. I was doing cold water and a little soap, and I'm going to see what happens with that. But I have all these like fat quarters and leftover pieces from other quilts that I've made. I've only made a handful of quilts, but I went on a binge of buying fabric like a while ago. And I want to say this would have to be 15, 20 years ago. I went to the Philly Quilt Show, and I got some Kaffe Fassett fat quarters and things, and it was just so amazing. I totally understand having too much fabric. And yet, so I haven't used my sewing machine since before I opened the shop. Up until just recently. Wasn't even sure I could get it running again, and I did. But I lost track of where I was going. But no, so I'm trying, but I still moved all the fabric with me. That's yeah, I have color catchers. I have to see if I soak it in warm water with a color catcher, if like the markings rinsed out, but they kind of bled and stuck in the fabric. And that one, if it doesn't come out, it's going to be a bag for me anyway. But I still moved all of the fabric, or the fabric I liked, the yummiest of it. I have like 2 IKEA bins full of fabric and 1 IKEA bin full of batting. Why I hung on to the batting, why I ever thought I'd be using stuff again. So enough of making you all wait. It ended up being big, but I love it. It's more like a sweater project bag. And I even experimented with like, it went in kind of crooked, but I have little latches coming so I can make a little handle for this one. but I'm pretty sure this fabric is the K Facet fabric. And it's just because I was looking at this one and this fabric caught my eye in the bins. And I went, I really need to make something with that fabric. And that fabric and this one with all its oranges in it, I was just like, ooh, ooh. It's not showing up exactly right with the lighting here, but yeah, so the flowers is what I embroidered, and then this is kind of batik. It's lighter than it's showing up on camera. But I put borders on, and then I was like, I want the other side. Um Oh, and we got someone from Florida who joined us. That's awesome. And so this had a V in the middle of it, and I wanted that to be incorporated in the bag. So I did this for the back of it. I had that fabric become the center of the back of it. And then we still have that batiki fun stuff, top and bottom. Boxed bigger corners, which was really fun. And it's not perfect, right? Like a quilter would be like, oh, those corners, but it's me. Thank you. I think the colors go really well together. I did line it with just a solid brown, which I know Eldon's gonna be like, can't see anything in there. But yes, I'm a sucker for batiks too. I have too many. Like this is another batik right here that was the same. I think I was just like when I went shopping so many years ago. I didn't see putting this fabric in the inside of this bag. Like it kind of goes, but when you see it in person, it kind of doesn't. So I found some just plain brown that I have a million yards of. And that became the inside of the bag. It got sucked into the seam I had to redo, but I had to make my own ending to because the zipper was like a 24-inch zipper. This is more like 16 inches. It's been a fun adventure. It's been fun to do something that people call me an expert at knitting and crocheting, and I know a lot of stuff. This I don't know as much of, so this has been really fun. Um, and yeah, proud of being quilters, not worrying about being perfect because it's handmade. Yes, which makes it more special. Exactly. So these guys, I'm not necessarily making them to make a side business out of it, but it's one of those, if you really like it, then I may end up putting these on sale. And if they don't sell it, because I'll probably put a nice price tag on them because I'm proud of my work, or especially all the work that went into this. If they don't sell, they don't sell. And Jan's here. Jan comes to our dual platform virtual sit and stitch all the time, and it's fun to see her. And you're catching alive. There you go. And Jan, you've made project bags. This one's really big. My therapist was like, "Is it a computer bag?" I'm like, "No, it's like a sweater project bag," because I got carried away. And I wanted to have more of this fabric showing. That was part of it. My brain flips. I don't see my mirror image. And I know I said this last time, but I have to move the opposite direction. And my brain goes, bleh. It's nearly bedtime for Jan. Well, we're so glad you could join us. I wanted to have more of this showing. Like in the future, I might cut the embroidery down more and have it be a smaller bag. But I think I'm gonna make make them different sizes and stuff. Jan says she's made nearly 70 bags. That's fantastic. That's absolutely amazing. Because yeah, I'm not there yet. But done is better than perfect. I like it. And that's the see, Jan, that's what I was thinking is I'm doing this embroidery and it's fun. I'm also doing the really inexpensive ones that I'm just getting off of Amazon. I have I'm selling ones in the shop that are more high quality, locally made, or like US made. And but the ones that are inexpensive that I'm making, I'm like, I could put them on bags. I could do something to make them more interesting, either for my personal use or maybe if someone, that's the tough thing about selling what you make. I mean, we've probably had lots of discussions here and in these formats about especially with knit and crochet, things take so long to sell what you make and to put a price tag on it that is worth the time you put in with it. And is someone going to pay that price for it? Maybe, maybe not. And when I say, oh, I could sell these, wouldn't that be cute? Like, the danger is then it adds a level of, is it for enjoyment or is it for a business? Will I be more critical now of the errors I make? Will I think it's not worth the price I'm putting on it? But honestly, if it's going to sell, I'd like to make something from it, right? So I go back and forth on that a lot. So let's see. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Intentional mistake in quilts. Yeah, I've heard about that too, definitely. So yeah, I hear what you're saying about it becoming a job. And that's why I'm like, I could put them in the shop or I could offer them online. And if people want them, great. And if they don't, no stress off my back because I made it and it was fun. So I'm going to try to keep it. I have enough stress with running the shop. So I'm going to try to keep that low key. I don't have all the stuff that we're selling at the shop, but we're selling these kits by Jessica Long. I always want to like mess up her name. And the scissors are separate. Maybe next week we can start getting them in the online shop. But I have started mine. And when I'm sitting at home, I tend to be working on something that's not for the shop right now, or not too much. So that's the kit that I decided to do as a sample. We've already sold the other one, which is a good problem to have, but still a problem. I might need to order more. I'm going to order more. It's just I have to have a minimum whenever I order them. So I have to see if I have enough to order to get the minimum in. But here's how mine's going so far. I gotta figure out which way to turn this. I've done 2 of the crows. There's all kinds. It's gonna have all kinds of different colors to the leaves. That's what makes it so pretty. And this stitch is a really fun one to try, and occasionally doesn't go perfectly. And yeah. So Eileen, you made it in while we're still here. Definitely. Oh, Jenna, I used to do a bunch of craft shows a year, not for knitting and crocheting, but for some other stuff I was making. It was very exhausting. And it made the things that I love not as much fun, right? So this one's probably not going to be on a bag or anything. It's going to be a display for the shop. It has been really fun. So yeah. Deb's talking about felted mittens in her fancy shop, and she emailed with things she wanted. Yep. So your felted mittens in her shop, and then yes, it got really stressful. I hear you. It's when it and if they're selling, then you have to make more. And if you're the price, when you sell things in someone else's shop, there's also they take a cut. And so how much are you really making? Liz, when I first met her, used to make these sweater coats where she would get sweaters from thrift stores and felt them down and make them into strips, and it would be these hooded coats, like super long and crazy. And she would serge them, so they had a certain look to them. And she would sell them for like $200 or something. But then the consignment store would be like, we need another one. We need another one. And it wasn't fun anymore. And she doesn't make them anymore. So yeah, Jan has a pile. So she has an instant gift for anybody. I'm thinking I could try putting them on sale if someone would like something made by me. And I'm even thinking about like tags I want to put on those. But if they don't sell, I have Christmas gifts. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, Jan, I'm totally hearing you. Different Jan than the Jan who has the pile of bags. That if projects have to bring joy or it's just work. And I know I've even been watching TV shows where people take their work, their love, and turn it into their profession. I tried that. And I feel like what I've done is tangential. So because I tried doing an artistic thing in the craft show circuit when the economy wasn't great, which has been a lot of times lately, but this was more around 2000 to 2005 or so. And it was in the summers between teaching jobs. And um, it was tough to just sit there and have people go by and say, am I even going to make back my booth fee? You know, like it was really tough. And stuff like this, we still have people who come into the shop and say, do you sell your samples? We might have a sample sale at some point, but even the sale prices of these are going to be things that people who aren't in the know won't want to pay. And people who are in the know will probably say, I will just make it myself. So, you know, so Deb's saying she got paid $40 20 years ago. And so 20 years ago, you know, that was a good price tag for felted mittens, but still, was it worth the time you were putting in, you know? But yeah, and making that, she's right, making the same things over and over again. I was doing these metal embossing, so thin sheets of metal that I do my own drawings, and I would press them out and make them kind of 3D and put some clay behind so they would keep their shape, and I would color the surface. And it was fun until it wasn't, because it was trying to have enough product to go to a craft show. And then what if it doesn't sell? You know, then you might have stuff for the next craft show and not have to work as hard. But yeah, it's tough. And so in some ways, I feel like apart from being self-employed, which is its own challenge, and keeping the shop going, which is its own challenge, I do feel like I've done the best of all worlds for me, in that I can still help people and teach people, and I can still make things. And what I make, I at first wasn't making things to fit me. I was making small things so they could be done faster. And then I realized wearing them not only help them sell because they look better on a person than on a mannequin or on a hanger, and then I had things I could wear when I wanted to wear stuff. So I had a family member over this this summer break say, how many tops have you made? And it's like, well, a lot. But they're going to inspire different people. And then I have options. So it's only on days like today where it's rainy and my AC isn't working or my heat isn't working, that I'd be wearing a lot of these long sleeve tops now. But it has been really fun to make them. So I might not be finishing projects as fast, though, if I start to do these tangential hobbies. But tangential hobbies are kind of fun because they make the original ones all the more satisfying when you return to them, in theory, you know. So I'm not going to get around to, I'm just going to keep knitting on this because I don't think I'm going to get around to winding that yarn that I have. Let me, we're going to wrap up in a few minutes. And Janice said she understands the whole, like, making the same thing over and over again can be boring. But I might sell mine just to make room to be able to play with more. There you go. It's finding the right market, right? The right niche. And I don't know. I thought about making pillows with mine. And then I was like, ooh, but a project bag. I need to organize my projects more than being in one big bag. So if these all end up being my project bags for my personal use, I probably need them. But I figured, you know, if it brings someone else joy and it can help with shop fees, I'll do it. But I am very much trying to thread the needle between having it be an extra work and having it be something that I just am like, you know what, I made this and it's awesome. And if someone wants it, fine. So before we go, if you watch the sideshow, you've already seen this, but not everyone on here watches the Sun Dragon sideshow. I finished it looks like a blanket, right? It's going to be a granny tee. This is one panel of two. that it's going to have sleeves on it. So I've just started the second. I started it on a morning meditation and haven't done anything on it since because I made some bags. So, yeah, the colors are really, really pretty and fun. And um, this is the ball. I'm going to try to keep it back here so it's not totally washed out. And this is the hook. It is, here's another ball. It's actually one of our acrylic blends, but it's so pretty color wise. I'm not being snobby about it, and I'm making a top with it. It's Cherub Aaron Prince from Cascade. It's a new colorway. We had all these like baby yarn color, and this could be a baby blanket too. And I'm trying to find the little piece of it that I've started. So this is all I have left. This took 2 balls. This is all I have left of the second. I mean, it's enough. It's not like I don't have anything left of the second ball. But I started with a brand new ball for my second piece because that's why it's sitting right on top here. Because I wanted it to be green. It's not even really showing up with the lights the way they are right now. But this one, I have a creamsicle tummy. I think this is actually going to be my back piece because I want a green tummy. So I'm starting from the outside of this one, which is going to, again, the lighting is almost washing it out. It's going to start with the green that you can see in here. And it looks like, yeah, it's going to go towards the lighter color here still, and then the orange, and then, so I love this colorway too, Trescello. I love this one too. And again, it's really soft acrylic and nylon. It is not super fancy yarn, but that kind of works for me, especially with a crochet garment, because crochet can just eat up a whole bunch of yarn. And they really are having a fashion moment, Deb. They're like, this is by the same writer. I'm just trying to clean up my mess here. This is by the same writer I used, Kelly Phelps, for the Granny Hexie cardigan. There's so many different versions of the Granny Hexie cardigan out there. But when she had this, it's like, it's basically 2 big granny squares. And once you seam it, then you can add like sleeves to it. So it's not just 2 big granny squares, but in some ways, when I have time to work on it, it's going faster than the hexie cardigans are going, because those I would get through 4 sides of the hexagon and be like, I'm done because squares. And then it'd be like, no, there's 2 more sides. So that was frustrating. No, I have gone a little insane with, so we're going to have really nice embroidery in the shop that is designed and made by, we have some coming from Ukraine and we have some that are here in the US. And honestly, a lot of the kits that I'm doing that are going to end up on my bags are made in China or made in other places that are not super fancy. Cause then I can, if I do sell them, I can keep the cost of them somewhat manageable. But like, I got some with bees on them. These are not ones I sell. They're ones you can find on Amazon, that type of thing. I got some that, have sunflowers. I got some bird ones because my parents are birders, so that I can make that for them for Christmas. It's been really fun. We're hoping to get some cross stitch in that's got Blue Ridge Mountains and things like that. And yeah, Jenna, you're saying there's a hexicardi pattern that is like written specifically for Wizard, and that's awesome. I've made one out of the Juniper Moon Cumulus, which I would use the same hook if I was going to do one with Wizard, which is really, really cool. So we've actually just spent an hour together. This has been really fun. However, I have other things I got to get to today before I get ready for tomorrow. So thank you for joining the live. I'm enjoying doing these once a month. I hope you are too. It's just another way to connect to people and to have a little more back and forth rather than me just saying, so here's what I've been working on. And yeah, I'm glad y'all caught me too. I'm glad you're enjoying this. I think we're going to stick to the beginning Mondays of the month unless other things come up. So keep in mind, if you want to come to the next one, please definitely, if you like, I'm just kind of chatting and I'd love to involve you all more. But if you have questions of things you want to talk about or share, then let's do it. I think it's really, really fun. So I agree, Testicello. It's fun to be with other crafty people and hear and I just read out all the comments so you know that I've seen them, but I'm sure you're reading each other's comments. So, oh, and thank you, Deb. Thank you for that. So definitely, like, please engage with this and please do, let's see what direction we want to take it. If me, like rereading all the comments is too much and we want to be just responding to them, you all help me with this because I know some of you watch a ton of lives and I'm just winging it like I do with everything else. So, and sometimes the feedback I can do stuff with, and sometimes I'm just going to want to do something a little different. But, it's been great to see everybody. I am going to shut down the live now. Other people can watch it later, and I try to read all the comments when comments come in later too. So thank you all very much. The next live will be the first Monday in September, which is going to be Labor Day. So that could mean more people. It's September 1st. That could mean more people joining. That could mean fewer people because they have Labor Day plans. But I'm going to stick to that schedule. So awesome. I will see you all next time. Yeah, that Tresticello has a really good point. If you hit the like button, like Deb just donated, which is really wonderful, and we appreciate that. And if you can, that's fantastic. Subscribing, hitting like on things, watching other videos, all that kind of stuff, it all supports what I do. So thank you all so much. We'll see you later. Bye.